Sent to Universe 6, Goku finally begins his training to become a god of destruction. Goku, who was unable to access his new source of power, had to push his limits, remembering all the anger and suffering he had in his life. After that, he finally manifested his destruction energy for the first time. What will be the next phases of Goku's training?
Hakai.
Episode 5. The Earth and the universe are in great danger. Frieza's new ally. Episode 5 begins in a very distant location in Universe 7. There is apparently only one planet there. This planet didn't even have a star close to it, and because it didn't receive any heat from a star, it was extremely frozen and lifeless. At the center of this planet was an immense glacier, which was so huge that it looked like a real ice fortress. Suddenly, a spaceship lands on this glacier. Who leaves the spaceship is Frieza, and next to him are his two most trusted servants, Berry Blue and Kikono. Unlike Frieza, who apparently didn't feel cold, Kikono and Berry Blue were wearing extremely advanced clothing to survive the extreme cold. Unlike his two subordinates, who were very uncomfortable with the cold, Frieza was thinking about something else. All the Emperor had in his mind was a memory that made the villain tremble with rage and shame. Frieza couldn't accept the humiliation he suffered on his last visit to planet Earth, when a Saiyan named Broly gave him a real beating. After a long walk, they arrived at a region of the glacier that had a well-hidden button. When Kikono presses this button, a mechanism opens a hole in the floor and an elevator appears. When they enter, the elevator goes down at a high speed to the underground of the glacier. As the elevator goes down, Frieza says, "I haven't been to this place for a long time." Berry Blue responds by saying that Frieza was right and that the last time they went there, King Cold was with them and that they went to arrest someone. Frieza says, "This prison was built by my father, especially with the intention of imprisoning this person. After that, it was no longer necessary for us to come here." The elevator stops, and when the door opens, they see a hallway with hundreds of soldiers. It was almost 1,000 soldiers from Frieza's army just to guard a single prisoner. When Frieza started to walk, all the soldiers were kneeling down, showing respect to the great emperor of the universe. Seeing this, Frieza smiles and says, "So many soldiers, but in the end, they're all useless. If he freed himself, they would all be easily eliminated." Upon reaching the end of the hall, Frieza comes face to face with a well-reinforced door. Berry Blue, who is by his side, starts to tremble with fear just remembering what had happened in the past. She begins to remember that a few decades ago, the general of Cold's mighty army was the great Cooler, the king's firstborn son and Frieza's older brother. Cooler was extremely powerful and had great achievements for Cold's army, but Cooler's power grew so much that the king became very worried about him, as his powers had already far surpassed the powers of the king and Frieza. One day, fearing that Cooler would usurp his throne, Cold, along with Frieza, made a plan to capture Cooler, and with a sneaky plan, Cold and Frieza managed to capture him and his most trusted men and imprison them in a prison specially built for them. That prison was the one they were in now. Frieza places his hand on the fingerprint scanner next to the door, and after his identity is confirmed, the reinforced door opens. Inside that big room was a big tube filled with liquid, and inside that tube, surrounded by that liquid, was Cooler. He was sleeping, and his arms and legs were held together by huge metal plates. Seeing his brother, Frieza says, "There's my big brother. Congratulations, Kikono. It seems that your prison capsule is working perfectly, even though many years have passed." Kikono thanks the compliment and explains how that capsule worked. He explains that the liquid in the capsule is a powerful sedative, and thanks to this sedative, Cooler remains paralyzed and drowsy. And this metal that holds his arms and legs is made of a special material that helps neutralize Kai. Kikono also says that he worked a long time on this capsule, and it took a lot of resources from Cold's army to build. Frieza praises Kikono, saying, "You did a good job with this prison, but now I want you to empty the capsule and remove the sedative liquid." Hearing this, Kikono is very scared and wonders if that was a good idea. "Lord Frieza, with all due respect, are you sure about this? I don't know if only the metal plates can hold Lord Cooler if he's not sedated." But Frieza only responds with a frightening look, one who doesn't admit to having his authority and power questioned. The little yellow man is filled with fear. Obeying Frieza, Kikono goes to the main computer in the room and releases all the sedative liquid from the capsule. After that, Cooler starts to wake up. Kikono is very impressed by that. "Amazing. Just a few seconds without a sedative is enough for your body to start waking up." Upon finally opening his eyes, Cooler sees the image of his brother in front of him and then shouts, "Frieza!" But Frieza responds in a quiet voice, "Hello, brother. How have you been all these years?" "You damn! How dare you stand before me? Where's our father? I don't deserve Cold's illustrious presence." Frieza explains to Cooler that their father was long dead. "Damn it! Who dares to do this? I was the one who should have killed him." Frieza angrily says, "Amazingly, it was a Saiyan." "What? This is impossible. A monkey like that could never kill our father." "Oh, Cooler, so much has changed since you weren't here. As shocking as this may sound, the Saiyans are no longer the vermin we used to subdue." And then Cooler says, "What blasphemy! How could you let that happen, you idiot?" At that moment, the plates that held Cooler starts to vibrate with the increase of his Kai. Frieza replies, "That's why I'm here, brother. As much as I hate to admit it, our army that once dominated everything we wanted is no longer the ruler of the universe. I need you to join me to form a true elite of powerful warriors to defeat the Saiyans who live on planet Earth." But Cooler gives his answer, "Join you? I'll kill you. I will kill your servants, and then I'll find this planet Earth and eliminate those damn Saiyans." At that moment, Cooler explodes his handcuffs and completely destroys the prison capsule, releasing his Kai with such a force of impact that it throws Kikono and Berry Blue out of the room. After that, Cooler flies at full speed to give a powerful punch on Frieza. But Frieza easily catches his punch with just a single hand. When this happens, Cooler is absolutely shocked. "I'm glad to know that even though it's been so many years, your power hasn't even decreased by 1%. After saying that, Frieza concentrates his energy and transforms into his golden form, and the impact of his Kai is so strong that Cooler falls to the ground. "It can't be. How did you get so much power?" "Brother, you don't have to be sad. If you'll join me, I'll teach you how to get to that form, and together we'll unite an elite force capable of standing up to Earth's warriors. And after that, the Frieza army, commanded by Cooler, will rule again." Cooler gets up and decides to join his brother, and the two seal the deal with a handshake. On the way out of the fortress, Frieza leaves with Kikono and Berry Blue, but also with Cooler and his special forces. They all return to the spaceship. As soon as he enters, Cooler notices an inhabitant of the planet Yadorat and asks Frieza why he has that person there, since he seems to be very weak. Frieza says that was Soba, and he was there because, despite not being strong, he has a very useful ability that Cooler will be able to see later. And that's how episode 5 ends, with Frieza's spaceship leaving for searching a very powerful warrior who would be the next to join his army.